Bubba Chuck's back. Happy Father's Day weekend to the fellas. Not that it means that much in our community. It's the wildest thing. You know, I always felt like, because I grew up without my father. My mama got pregnant in high school, and that's the wild thing, man. To have a child while you're in school, while you still a baby, and to bring the child into the world. I mean, that's some irresponsible stuff right there. It's like you handicapping the child. The teenager has the child, and their mind is still undeveloped. They drop the child off on your grandmother, which kind of restricts her life, and then there are no men around to help the boy. So all you grow up with is a woman's perspective, and a lot of times those perspectives, not for all people, but in my case, it's a perspective that's rooted in a somewhat of a shallow resentment for men, almost like the blame game, whereas it's like the teenage mother was too young to take accountability for her actions and responsibility. She was just thrust into quasi-parenting, I guess. So, man, I done made a lot of mistakes. And, as a man, I know my mother, I think she looked at me as a weak, I wouldn't even say man, because I feel like in our community, the black community, it's like women, just by default being women, you're a woman, But it's like there's this criteria for men to be men. It's like, oh, he's not a man, he's a boy. But women, no matter how many mistakes they make, they're women. And I assume that's because they have a vagina. I don't know. So it's been said that I have abandonment issues, which is true. My mother, she was, she gave herself to everyone. Well, let me take that back. The way she chose to love me as a son is the same way she loved herself. She loves herself last, and she saves the world, or saved the world, like the church and her sister's children and other people's children, and it's like, not forget my son, but he'll be all right because she's all right, Father's Day, right? I do remember my mama saying that she was my mother and my father. I thought that was crazy, but I believe that crap. Father's Day. What does that mean? So, as a silly youth, when I was in my 20s, and I was having my first child, is that what you want to say? I remember being so excited, like, wow, this is gonna be my opportunity to be the man that my mama always talked about, like this fictional man. But what I didn't know was she was kind of grooming me to be a simp, kind of, like just put up with all kinds of BS, like to be this perfect, sensitive, emotional, angry less, really it was like a pushover. It was like something that she might have wanted, but it wasn't a man. And for a while, that's what I was. A straight simp. I didn't know no other way. I didn't have no male role models, and I wound up letting a lot of women use me. But nevertheless, back to my story. So my daughter, I was so excited, and I was so ill-prepared to be a father, but I was excited, just ignorantly excited, I was like, man, I'm going to prove that I'm a good man, But really, I was trying to prove that I was a good simp, right? But that didn't last too long because my daughter's mom, when I started speaking up, I was like, this ain't flying. You gotta have some act right. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna just tell me what to do. You know what I mean? I got a direction for my daughter's life, and this is what's going down. Foundation. You know what I'm saying? Discipline. They ain't just giving the child what they want, let them act the fool. Like no sir. So we started having problems then. But nevertheless, so on this day, 20 years later, it's like Father's Day. What does that mean? Because it's hard enough to be a man in our community. It's like, what is a man in our community? Because we're not just born men, according to, I guess, in our community. But, man, it's so much that you got to prove as a boy to be a man. You know what I mean? The world is truly upside down. 'Cause I don't really think most fathers really... I mean, just because of how society has kind of minimized the role of fathers, it's like, I think most men ain't even seeking to be praised, because I think men understand, or I'm talking about real men and real fathers, they understand accountability and what needs to be done. They don't do it, to be seen or like, in a way like some women might get pregnant and then the pregnancy becomes all about them being pregnant, not about the child that's going to be born into the world. So it's like, hey, I'm pregnant, you're glowing. Oh my God. And, she's eating it up. Men, we're trying to hatch ideas and make plans like how we're going to do this. We ain't got time to let the diamond shine. We got to take care of our responsibilities. You can tell a whole lot of fathers in the world. You see them in their minivans and just, some of them look run down, but it's like I ain't got time to focus on the gloss. I got to make moves. I got to take care of this child. You know what I'm saying? But that's some people, but not all. But so for all of the cats out there that are fathers or daddies, because people love to break it down, like, oh, that's not a father, or he's just a daddy, oh, he's just a sperm donor, like, all of that stuff. I mean, it sucks, when you hear people break that down, like, oh, he's not a real father, oh, he's not a real man. I'm like, what is that? Like, just totally disregarding all and everything that men go through. It's like nobody wants to hear our stories, as if we can't be victims, or if we can't be, as if we don't. And then I'm not just talking about men in general. Yes, I mean, it's just as simple as fighting or something like that. If you, like, most real men think things through. They have to make wise decisions. So it's like if you walk through a crowd of people and a guy bump into you, you can't just amp out and I mean, you can, but that'll be like some adolescent or an adolescent response. You gotta like back up and like, yo, excuse you. And if the cat wanna, pop off and all that, you gotta think about the consequences of, if you still on her. You know what I mean? Because you're gonna go to jail and you got a family. You know what I mean? You can't just, go crazy. I'm rambling. Father's Day though. Ghetto heaven. You know what I'm saying? So, follow them fathers out there going through, because I done went through my fair share of baby mama drama. Luckily, my daughter old now. But a lot of that drama I brought down on myself, and it boils down to my choice. I should have left that girl alone. You know what I mean? And I didn't. I thought I could change her.
Stretch.
But I didn't know no better. So, follow them fathers out there, man. Try your best to direct your children on the right path. Give them that. Give them that goodness. It's a tough world out here. You know what I mean? And I know I wasn't prepared when I was thrown into it. Sometimes I wonder why I was even or why they even allowed me to be born. Like, damn, if I knew I was gonna be like this and life was gonna be this hard and I was gonna have to play catch up, So, salute to the brothers out there, the fathers. Bubba Chuck.